Well, we have one defense of a championship belt. Will there be two as we get set for the V3Fights Amateur Bantamweight Division Championship? The champion, the defending champion, the guy who will try for his second straight defense is Jacob the Bengal Sandlin. But here comes his opponent, Hunter Hatchet Joffre, another familiar name to the V3 Legion, from Memphis, Tennessee, and Memphis Judo and Jiu-Jitsu, coached by Zach and Jake Underwood, will be cornered by the two as well. This is a guy who is an extremely accomplished wrestler. He's wrestled with the prestigious Wave Club wrestling team, wrestled with Jaleel Willis at White Station High School in Memphis, and he's also a former flyweight amateur championship belt holder for V3Fights. So he is pretty darn special.
Beat Jesse Parker back in the day for the belt. This kid is impressive. When Brian said, hey, we've got Hunter Joffre available for 135, I said, there's nothing else but the belt. I called Jacob Sandlin. Sandlin said, I love it. Let's do it. This is a heck of an amateur main event. You've got two kids in here. One of them's not even old enough to drink. These kids are the future of MMA.
Joffre just 23. Sandlin's 19, but Joffre is 7-0 and has a 14-inch reach advantage on his opponent Sandlin, although he is only 5'8", Sandlin 5'7". Very interesting. But you have a combination of 12-1 between these two fighters, Joffre and Sandlin.
And Sandlin's only loss was up at 150 pounds.
That's impressive. Here comes the champ, Jacob the Bengal Sandlin from Decatur, Alabama, and 10th Planet Decatur. Coached by Brandon McCatherine and Josh McMurray, cornered by Eric Owl and Josh McMurray. Again, the champ at 5-1, just one blemish between these two fighters. Makes his way through the crowd here at Minglewood Hall on a mission to defend a title for a second time. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape in this V3Fights Amateur Bantamweight Division Championship. Again, it's Joffre at 7-0, 5'8", 135-pounder. He's a karate expert, 23 years of age. Again, an amazing wrestler at White Station High School. Meanwhile, Sandlin 5'1", he's 5'1", 5'7", 136-pounder jiu-jitsu fighter, just 19 years of age, is the champion. And they are both inside the cage. This one promises to be electric. Nobody has left Minglewood Hall. We got 4 pro fights still to come. It's been a great night to this point, and it will continue. I can guarantee you that. But can Sandlin retain the belt once again? Let's meet the two as we go inside the cage.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is brought to you by Platinum Jewelers. It is set for 3 3-minute rounds and is for the V3Fights Bantamweight Championship. When the bell rings, the referee in charge of the action, the third man in the cage, will be Clint Kolasinski. Introducing first, out of the blue corner. He wears black trunks with green trim, stands 5 feet, 8 inches tall. He weighed in at 135 pounds. He has a perfect record of 7 wins and 0 losses. Representing Memphis Judo and Jiu-Jitsu with a karate style, he fights out of Memphis, Tennessee. Ladies and gentlemen, Hunter the Hatchet Joffre. And across the cage, his opponent fighting out of the orange corner. He wears the black trunks with the orange trim and stands 5 feet tall and 5 feet 7 inches tall, weighed in at 136 pounds. He has a record of 5 wins and just 1 loss. He represents 10th Planet Decatur with the jiu-jitsu style, Fights out of Decatur, Alabama. He is the current, reigning, and defending V3Fights bantamweight champion, Jacob the Bengal Sandlin.
A lot of folks making their way from Alabama here to Memphis, Tennessee. Final instructions from Clint Kolosinski.
All right, guys, we've been over the rules in the back. Any questions from the blue corner? Any from the red? Protect yourselves at all times, follow my instructions.
It's the Hatchet and the Bengal for the V3Fights Amateur Bantamweight Division Championship, scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. Round 1, here we go on V3Fights.
What a great matchup. You see Hunter, he is so strong, so physically gifted.
And a takedown by
here.
Joffre.
But again,
Joffre now hammering down on the champion Sandlin. He pulls him away from the cage and continues to be aggressive, and now Sandlin has to gather him up and hold on after a flurry to start things off by Joffre.
but he's got that 10th Planet Decatur Jiu-Jitsu. The 10th Planet is really, really funky. They use a lot of awkward positions. You see Sandlin pulling his leg up in a really awkward position. He's always looking for something, always trying to set something up.
Heard some instructions from the corner of Joffre, Zach and Jake Underwood in their corner. A couple of shots to the ribs, not a lot of pop behind those punches from Sandlin as things have slowed down a little bit here in the first round. We go under 2 minutes.
He's very dangerous in this position here. Sandlin can finish a fight anywhere he is. He can be on his back, but Joffre has extremely good jiu-jitsu himself. Strong wrestling, karate, stand-up.
Joffre gets his arm free, released one of them. Now maybe a second one, but Sandlin very calm and composed. Now Joffre to his feet and back down he goes, looking for, what, a leg lock here?
He's looking for a leg lock here. But one of the things they can't do as amateurs is they can't twist. He can do a straight leg lock, and that's it.
That's what he's trying to do. Still continues to work on it.
One of the things is your opponent kind of has the same position on you.
Right, good point.
Sandlin's able to roll out of it.
Now Sandlin on top, trying to get his arm loose and trying to rain some ground and pound on Joffre. And he does here as we go under a minute to go in the first round.
But now Hunter looks like he's setting up an armbar here. Sandlin's able to fight his way out of it.
A lot of pop behind that one. He was able to stand and come down strong with that punch with the right hand.
Gets himself in a side mount, but gets reversed by Joffre. Just great action.
Right from the get-go. My
Absolutely.
gosh, that's what we expected in this fight.
Just to remind people, Jacob's only 19, but Hunter's coming out to the side for a possible side triangle. He's got it pretty tight.
Final 10 seconds of the first round. Will he be able to get to a second round or not?
He's gonna last. He's got his thumb up that he's good. He's good to go.
And they broke just before. We will go to a second round. So great effort there by Hunter Joffre, but you got to give a lot of credit to the champion, man. When you thought there could be a tap out, there was not, and he's able to fight through it. But let's see some of the action from the first round.
Just that initial takedown, you just saw how strong Hunter Joffre is. But the one thing that Jacob has is composure. He gets himself in some bad positions, but he composes himself. He goes from getting leg lock to a reversal and gets back on top, and then Joffre reverses him again, puts him in a side triangle, arm triangle, I'm sorry. Looks like he had it in a great position, had it really tight. Jacob gave us the thumbs up that he was okay. And how much energy did Hunter exert during that exchange?
Well, an awful lot, as you see. Nathan Pang out there. But you see Sandlin, he looks calm, cool, and collected. But these are two guys in terrific, terrific shape. Joffre's jumping up and down. I mean, he is an amazing physique, very strong upper body, but so is Sandlin. And here we go, round two, right out of the get-go. There was no tapping of hands there, and then Joffre with a big slam.
Joffre Joffre drops down to that double leg, puts himself in the guard, but you see Jacob Sandlin with that awkward position, getting that left leg up. You can never get comfortable on top with these 10 Planet guys because they can lock a lot of stuff up before you know it.
Knee attempt there from Joffre, another one. That one was a little bit off the mark, and now he's looking for, well, he got pushed away from Sandlin.
Oh, that was an illegal strike there.
Yeah.
That was an illegal strike. He struck him in the head when his knees were still on the ground. It was restricted. It was.
Give credit to Clint Kolosinski, was right on top of it.
It wasn't a hard strike. It was accidental.
And it looks like Hunter's okay, and Sandlin says, my bad, and we move on. Nice left there from Joffre.
Oh!
And Sandlin comes back with a nice combination. Boy,
Joffre's hurt.
Well, he was hurt, and then he was loading up for an uppercut to try to end the thing. Then he goes down to his knees for the takedown. But Sandlin had a nice combination right there.
Kept his composure there, but he was definitely hurt. Now he just falls off. It looks like Sandlin may be ready to finish this fight.
Trying to get himself in a better position here to let that growler pound flow here, and he's unable to do it right now. Now some elbows to the thigh of Hunter Joffre as we go under 2 against Sandlin, the champion, trying to successfully defend his title for a second time. Again, very cerebral. Well, there were really 2 cerebral fighters here, but Joffre trying to figure out what to do here as he gets a little bit of his breath back, and now he goes back to work.
Jacob tried to slip into the
Now
out of his guard, get that full mount, and Joffre timed it perfectly to explode, but he's getting a little too high. Sandlin's just kind of sliding him off.
He's twisting and turning out of the predicaments. It looked like Joffre going for the rear naked there for a second. Now a knee from Joffre. They're both back up to their feet.
He's looking at the time. He looked up at the clock. He could be exhausted.
Oh, he's definitely tired. There is no question. Sandlin sees, but can he seize the moment though?
He has not, he hasn't fought in a while, and he hasn't fought at this weight class where Sandlin has stayed active. This guy's fighting.
Sandlin, coming forward.
Doing jiu-jitsu tournaments. I mean, he is an absolute beast.
Sandlin, big right and a left, a nice combination. Continues to move forward, 25 seconds to go. Joffre eats another right and another. Combinations back and forth by Sandlin. Joffre's not protecting himself here.
I don't know what Clint's looking at here. He should stop this fight.
Sandlin continues to pummel Joffre. Under 10 to go in the round. Will he survive? He does. Wow, that could have easily been stopped. Easily. Sandlin had free shots for about 15 seconds, and he was not missing. He was right on the money seemingly every time.
Hunter Joffre, you see the replay here. Sandlin is just landing every single thing. Might not have a lot behind him, but you saw that there. That hurt him. That stunned him, and that started it. He's just extending his arms, trying to hold him off, and the Bengal is just stalking his prey in the second round.
Right here, there's pop behind these punches. He's coming forward now. He's putting his whole body into it, and Joffre's not protecting himself there.
Joffre is exhausted. That could be a 10-8, 10-7 round.
And there you see Joffre looks a little dazed. He still does. Nathan Pang there on his right, our left. Sandlin's back to his feet. Joffre's now on his feet. What does he have left energy-wise? Hunter again a perfect 7-0. Sandlin 5-1, looking to defend once again his V3Fights Bantamweight Division Championship. Round 3, the decisive round. Here we go. Scheduled for 3 minutes here on V3Fights. Joffre levels Sandlin, or did he slip?
A little trip, just a little slip.
And now going in for the choke. That seemed to be
Sandlin just
very strange.
Kind of just slipped, hit him on the thigh, hit him on the calf.
Like kind of a backhanded punch there that just didn't have a lot of pop behind it, but down went Sandlin.
Wow, Sandlin's able to just stay calm and composed in what looked like a really, really tight armbar. stays composed, gets back on top. Let's see what he can do here.
Sandlin, one of the most composed fighters you'll ever see.
At 19 years old.
It's unbelievable. Again, you're talking about in Joffre, a kid who wrestled with the prestigious Wave Club wrestling team, and just a monster on the mat. Under 2 to go here in the 3rd round.
But credit to Joffre as well for recovering from that 2nd round and able to come back out here. But he's got to do something on top. 1.5 minutes left in the championship fight. Anybody's round so far still. But you've got to, as of now, give Hunter the advantage in this round.
Looked completely gassed at the end of that 2nd round. Came back out in the 3rd. Again, he was able to knock down Sandlin on a very unusual backhanded punch. It just seemed to glance him.
Well, I actually saw it was a kick, and the calf kind of just tripped him. I didn't see a punch. Maybe
See, he
okay.
threw that, and I guess I didn't see the foot trip because I thought to myself, how did he go down with that?
Might have been a combo of them both.
That's probably what happened there. And it surprised me.
That's why we got 4 eyes.
And a number of cameras. Again, great work from our crew. We are under 1 minute to go in the 3rd and decisive round.
I'd like to maybe see Clint stand this back up for the last 30 seconds. We only got 30 seconds left.
Boy, there'd be some fireworks and some haymakers if that happened. I don't think it's going to happen, though. And Joffre on top, Sandlin the champ on the bottom here. How will the judges see it? Unless this thing can end in the final 10 seconds without having to go to the cards. Joffre gets loose now, trying to rain a little ground and pound, but he's got to watch out for the up kick by Sandlin, who tries at the last second. And Joffre just shaking his head no. Now we got to also remember the illegal kick.
No points deducted.
No points deducted?
No points
okay.
Deducted. Unintentional.
But again, what goes through the mind of a judge? They know that that's a rule. They won't do that. But
judges can't take.
Right,
exactly.
Exactly.
You saw that kick there. It was a kick to the leg.
And it was also it was also that backhanded punch.
But Hunter comes out in the 3rd round, really goes after it after looking like he was going to be finished. But again, the composure of Jacob pops his head out, secures himself. Hunter, but then, Hunter was the one on the offense trying an armbar. Offense wins fights. This is a close one.
Well, here's the way I would look at it, and again, I know it's a little bit different with MMA than with boxing, which I did for many, many years, is you got to beat the champ. It can't be one of those deals where it's, it's a 50-50 deal and you're going to take the belt away from the guy. And the 2nd round, Sandlin, that fight could have easily been stopped. Sandlin was beating the pulp out of Joffre and could have easily been over. Instead, they didn't call a halt to it, rightly so, by Kolosinski. It went to a 3rd round, and then as you mentioned, Joffre just seemed to have a second life, a new lease on life, and he was terrific in that 3rd round. So maybe it goes to what happened in the 1st round, unless there was a 10-8 or a 10-7 in that 2nd round. The judges' scorecards are in. Let's get the decision. Does Sandlin retain his belt, or does Joffre win it? Let's go to Dustin Starr.
And let's hear it for both of these amazing fighters. And the judges have made a decision. And it is an unanimous decision. And new V3Fights bantamweight champion, Hunter the Hatchet Joffre.
Wow, that's the 2nd one tonight that's gone to the cards, and not a lot have gone to the cards that I disagree with. Sandlin and Joffre put on a show, and Joffre takes the belt away, and he almost got knocked out in the 2nd round. Let's get a few words with our new champion.
So here I am with your new bantamweight champion, still undefeated. How does it feel to move up a weight class and win another belt?
Hey, it feels okay. First off, I want to thank Memphis Judo and Jiu-Jitsu. Never settle a pair. Want to thank my family, my friends at V3. Thank you guys. Hopefully I can come back a lot better.
All right, you improved to 8-0. You beat one of the best bantamweights we've had in the V3 cage. What's next for you?
Train harder.
There we go, training harder, your new champion, Hunter Joffre.
Second different belt for Joffre to win here on V3 Fights. He was the former flyweight amateur champion some time ago, and now he's the new V3 Fights amateur bantamweight division champion at age 23. Jacob Sandlin unable to defend for a second time his title, but that 19-year-old, you have not heard the last of Jacob Sandlin. We will take a break here because they'll take a break inside Minglewood Hall for 10 minutes, and then we'll be back with our 4 championship fights. Keep it right here on V3 Fights.